If you're an HVAC pro these days, you have a mountain of new products and systems coming at you all the time. A lot of them are just reimagining and repackaging the same old stuff, but some actually make your job and the life of your customers easier and better.
On our Home Performance channel, we're always digging into the science of homes and the science behind devices you can use to tune the indoor environment. Right now, we'll dig into a high-performance new system from Carrier that uses feedback offered by installers to solve a bunch of common frustrations with ductless mini splits. It's not true anymore that heat pumps won't work when it's really cold outside. In fact, the technology has evolved so much that this new unit, for example, will work at 100% efficiency down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Everybody, this is Hugh from Cheshire HVAC in Georgia, and thank you so much for being our installer expert today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me today. And doing a lot of these over the years, I am excited because of how easy it is to work on.
We'll point out all the new developments and features of this system as Hugh's team puts it together. First, just the mounting alone of the indoor unit is much easier because the backplate has built-in measurement and bubble level tools. No more problems with drainage because of an uneven unit.
Obviously, we care about the performance of the unit, and this one is highly efficient. Carrier actually makes equipment up to 42 SEER. But if the drain doesn't work, the performance stats are not important.
The second hurdle is making the refrigerant line set and drain connections, which they've now made easier as a one-person job with a built-in pop-up stand and a roomier compartment so you don't have to struggle to make things fit.
It's now also easier to access the circuit boards and make electrical connections. And this unit's blower wheel actually drops straight down from the housing with the removal of one screw. As you can see in the consumer version of this video, I demonstrate how easy it is to do this and to take apart this unit and clean it. If I can do it 8 months pregnant, for sure, most of your customers will have no problem maintaining this system. And your clients are gonna have a much easier time cleaning the filter because they don't have to open a door.
Magnets, 3 seconds. And you won't have to dread the cleaning job if you are hired to do it for them. The condenser fan now also switches direction briefly every time the system changes from heat to cool to reduce debris on the outdoor coil, so your coil cleaning process is easier. This outdoor cabinet got a redesign too, both for looks and function. For one thing, the cover plates for electrical and line set connections are now easier to work with. Mechanically though, this new design can reclaim some of the component heat from normal system operation, which used to be wasted. That's partly how you're able to heat at full efficiency down to -4 degrees. Bottom line, you shouldn't have to get nervous and install backup strip heat anymore, which kills the efficiency of a heat pump.
If you're installing someplace where it snows, make sure the unit is boosted up so it clears the snowfall level. Otherwise, you won't be able to use the heat when you need it the most. Also, these units come standard with a base pan heater, so you won't have to worry about the condensation creating an ice buildup. There's an important new feature of this system that helps with humidity control, a built-in humidity sensor.
Ductless systems have a much higher sensible latent split, meaning they're great at cooling, but lowering humidity, not so much. Other ductless systems solve this by overcooling, which can make a place pretty uncomfortable, and we speak from experience. This unit's built-in RH sensor means it can monitor both temperature and humidity and optimize its output to control for whichever is more pressing at any given time.
And lastly, the control of this unit solves some interesting problems, which makes your job of educating customers easier and means fewer callbacks. Something as simple as the symbols used to represent heating and cooling are more clear for American users. For example, there's a snowflake and the word cool. There is a sunshine and the word heat. And the sun doesn't look like a snowflake.
The Follow Me feature is also pretty interesting. Lots of people are understandably annoyed when they find out that the temperature sensor on most units is built into the indoor head. But with this, you can make the remote the sensor to be placed anywhere in the room.
Of course, they also built occupancy and light sensors into the unit, so it optimizes efficiency and can be configured to either blow on or away from the people in the room.
Like most manufacturers, Carrier recommends following the latest installation techniques, like pressurizing with nitrogen to find leaks, then pulling a vacuum to 500 microns for a period of time before releasing the refrigerant. Once you start up any mini split, there is no way to test the superheat and subcooling to diagnose the refrigerant line. You'd have to fully evacuate the coolant again, so it's really important to get this right the first time. Of course, it's critical you size these units correctly for the space they serve. The old rules of thumb do not apply anymore. Where we used to throw 1 ton of cooling at each 500 square feet or so, a new or improved home today only needs about 1 ton per 1,200 square feet. But don't trust that number either, because rules of thumb don't work.
You almost always need a computer to calculate the heating and the cooling loads. And yes, it takes time to measure and input the insulation and window stats and the blower door test results, but it's important. Also, the capacity on the system label is not always reality. Because this inverter system dials its power up and down, it's outgrown the old-fashioned rating system.
So while this unit's label says 9,000 BTUs per hour or 3/4 ton, it really delivers between 3,300 and 13,000 BTUs per hour of cooling and between 5,000 and 15,000 of heating. When this unit kicked on, it was 91 degrees in this room and humid, and we brought it down to 73 within about 20 minutes. It was pretty impressive to have that much cooling and drying coming out of one machine, and that's always nice to see when you get these started up, so that you know that they can perform on the hottest day of the year, which 91 is not as bad as it could get. And in case you're unclear about how important that relative humidity sensor is, when you're at your peak temperature, wherever you live, it's likely not as humid as it will be at a slightly lower temperature, like in the 80s. That's when you get really intense absolute humidity. That's when there's the most actual water in the air. So being able to track the humidity as this machine works is really important for both the peak temperature days and for the peak humidity days, which are not the same day.
So Hugh, as an installation expert, does this new system in fact make your job easier?
Carrier listened to their clients and they really redesigned this to make it a lot easier for us, not only on the installation end, but also the maintenance end. Just simple things like adding kickstands so we can run our line sets behind the unit, kickstands for electrical, kickstands for the compartment. Plus it also has a magnetic filter. You don't have to open up the compartment anymore to pull the filters out, so extremely easy now. But on top of that, maintenance is a lot easier. Now, one screw, it takes me 54 seconds. I've already timed it to take the entire blower wheel assembly out, clean it out. For a customer, that's priceless, because that's going to save them a lot of money in the long term.
Now, after installing anything in a home, you know we like to test it to make sure it's doing what it says it's designed to do on the label. So we test the temperature split with a thermometer hygrometer on the return and supply sides while running one of the amazing apps available to technicians nowadays. Now we know for sure we're done.
Subscribe to our channel for more technical explorations of the science of homes, and please do like and comment if you have questions or things to share about your experience with mini splits.
You can learn more about this new Carrier unit in the link below. Tune in next time.